Coca-Cola was invented in 1886 by a pharmacist named Dr. John Smith Pemberton. Since its inception, it has quickly become one of the largest and most influential companies in the world. Love or hate their drinks, everyone knows what Coca-Cola is. But what many people may not know is the dark history and facts behind this world-famous drink. We all know that the exact formula to make Coca-Cola is kept a secret. It will probably remain that way for a long time, if not forever. While we don't know everything that's put into Coca-Cola, we do know that they most definitely use water. You can't make most drinks without water, so it's not surprising that the sugary drink has a lot of water in it. This, however, becomes a problem in countries that have issues getting clean water on a constant basis. It takes a lot of water to make just one bottle of Coca-Cola. And this has resulted in poorer countries not having any access to water due to Coca-Cola factories using up all of the liquid. Not only do people not have enough water to drink, but they don't have enough water for their crops, meaning they also miss out on watering, consuming, and making the food they need to survive. You wouldn't think that working at a Coca-Cola factory could result in anyone dying, but that's exactly what happened to several Coca-Cola factory workers in Colombia. It was in 1986. And the day started off relatively normal when the factory was suddenly ambushed by a bunch of wild-eyed members of a nearby paramilitary group. A Colombian Coca-Cola executive tried to get the men to leave, but the men refused and they ended up killing the executive. This resulted in the paramilitary group giving Coca-Cola an ultimatum: be quiet and leave, or die. Of course, the employees left the factory as quickly as they could, where the group took over the factory and made it theirs. Coca-Cola still receives criticism for this, as they did very little to find out why this murder went down in the first place. Not to mention when the factory eventually opened up again, most of the original workers were simply fired. Coca-Cola obviously wants to be the biggest beverage company in the world. At this point, it's safe to say that they probably are. Although their size hasn't stopped them from buying out companies in order to make as much money as possible. This is what happened in India in 1977. Coca-Cola had begun their expansion to India, selling their products at local shops. Unfortunately, they didn't do as well as they planned. Few people bought their product and Coca-Cola lost a lot of money, so they left before they could lose any more cash. Then in 1977, an Indian company called Thums Up appeared. And they sold their own fizzy drink. Coca-Cola had already left, leaving the opportunity for another company to take its place. Coca-Cola ended up buying the Thums Up company and rebranding it. This caused people to think they're giving their money to Thums Up, but it really ends up in the pockets of Coca-Cola. This means that Coca-Cola is selling Coca-Cola without people even realizing it. We all know how healthy water it is. We also know that we need to drink a decent amount every single day, but there was a time where Coca-Cola was completely discouraging against that. All Coca-Cola wanted to do was make as much money as possible by encouraging people to drink Coke over water. To do this, they launched a campaign that went by the name H2No. This campaign was supposed to get waiters and waitresses to push Coca-Cola on customers instead of boring, old water. Coca-Cola was trying to get restaurants on their side by saying water would simply bore the customers, and that Coca-Cola would instead make them feel buzzed. Maybe they assumed customers would spend more money on food, which would benefit both Coca-Cola and the restaurants in the long run. This was basically a way for Coca-Cola to take down their competition, water. Plus, they got some extra cash in the process.